Hi there, Chad here from Chibi AI, and in this video I want to ask you for help. What I mean is I'm planning to build some preset actions, and it's not something that's in Chibi right now. So if you look here, I'm in my actions toolkit inside of Chibi, and I've got this group here, which is like a folder where I can put my actions and kind of organize them. And when there is a preset capability, there's another button here. So for instance, if I go into blueprints and I open this up, see how I have like an install preset here. So I can click here and I can find something if I want to install a preset that's already been designed for me to make something possible. With actions, what I'm planning to do is bring that preset capability to actions so that we can have pre-designed actions ready for you to use inside of Chibi. And what I need your help with is coming up with ideas for what you want to see. Of course, we're going to have stuff in there for copywriters and bloggers and probably life coaches and all kinds of different things. And it'll be tools that are capable of performing some really cool tasks for you, something that will help you accomplish things in a significantly faster time. And at an extremely high quality level because, well, I can show you. In the last video, what I did was I showcased how we can use a small model like GPT-4o Mini, how we can make it perform reasoning similar to what the brand new, the craze that's going on right now with the whole brand new OpenAI o1 model. How in the background, if you've heard about that model, or if you haven't, what it's kind of doing is when you prompt it, it is thinking for a little while, and you can't see me right now, but I'm putting some air quotes up because thinking is kind of just sort of I think it's OpenAI's way of trying to anthropomorphize it, trying to make it sound like it's doing something special or something behind the scenes. More or less, it's just letting it go through some chains of thoughts, basically. And this is a technique that we could use before. It's difficult to do in something like a ChatGPT, chatbot interface. You can't really tell it to do a good chain of thought and then use that chain of thought in some individual way. But in Chibi Actions, you can. Now, the last video, I'll link to it in the description below, of course. But in the last video, just really quick, what I did was I created an action. It's this one here. It's called Mimic OpenAI GPT-o1. I shouldn't have called this GPT-o1 because apparently it's not actually GPT-o1. So I'm just going to change this. It is OpenAI o1. That's the name of the model now. But anyways, it has 3 steps to it. The first one here, you see this icon. It's just a pop-up, basically. So when this action runs, it pops up what I want to enter into it. And right now I have, this is the default value. So like if I run this, you can see it pops up like this so that I can enter some content that it's going to work on. And I put both of them in there so I could just delete one and test it against the other. And such right now, you can see that it's actually testing the word raspberry to count how many R's are in it. If you don't know what is going on there, essentially the way the tokenizers work for the OpenAI models, it makes it really difficult for them to count letters because sometimes it's like a 3-pack or a 2-pack for the number of characters that are in one token. And so this introduces a reasoning step, and you can see where the question was how many R's are there in the word raspberry. And you get all the way down here to the end, and it has successfully counted that there are 3 R's in the word raspberry. Okay, so the prompt, that's just where we're getting some information in there. And that's not what the task looks like, but by default, this is after I've kind of predefined it. I've kind of set it up. I wanted to be able to enter a prompt. I've provided some default values. I got a little placeholder. I just set it all up. When I've entered the content into that, it gets put into a variable, the prompt, and that prompt gets passed on to the next step. So when I go into the reasoning step here, it says create a step-by-step process that will perform the request given. And notice the little double braces with the prompt here. That's the same thing. In fact, in Chibi, to make it easier for you to use it, all you have to do is come here and click it. And then you come down here and you can just paste it into your prompt. And now I leave a trailing label because what I wanted to do is create a process. So I just sort of leave that there to kind of guide the AI to create that process. There's a little more going on behind the scenes, but I'm not trying to go deep into how actions work here. I'm just kind of showing you that an action is a sequence of tasks that can perform one after another. And all you have to do is click a button once. So you can imagine that, let's say that you're a blogger and you're trying to write a blog post and you've got this really sort of unique way that you like to do it. You could set up your action to do those steps that you would normally do yourself, and then the action can do it all for you in one click. Now, obviously, in the realm of blogging and article writing and that kind of stuff, and using AI to do it, I firmly believe in the whole human plus AI concept, and that means that we're gonna take the time. Like, sure, let the AI write a full draft for you if you want to, if that's your preferred method, and then spend some time looking it over, reading it over, and adjusting it more to your liking. One of the cool things with Chibi is that we have the concept of roles. So I can go into here and I've got these roles. I've got on Albert Einstein, for instance. If I wanted to write content as if Albert Einstein wrote the content, I could use this role and it would write like Albert Einstein. It's a little weird. I mean, obviously, you probably would never do that. In this case, this role would be good for our chat interface. So maybe you wanted to have a chat conversation with Albert Einstein. You could do that with something like this. But the point of roles is that you can define yourself. So let's say that you've got your own unique writing style. In a role, you would set all that up, right? Like you set up your persona in there and how you like to write, and maybe even give it some examples of your preference in writing style. And then that role kind of becomes you. Inside of roles, you can also define the models that are used. In this one, I was testing GPT-01 preview, not GPT-01, sorry, OpenAI 01 preview. But you can pick from any of the models that you install, and you have access to hundreds of models. So we have things like Commander I have installed. I have, let's see, all these like open source ones. I have Perplexity even. You can even use Perplexity models here in Chibi. So that will even have online connected capability to do search online for you. You can use Mistral models, all kinds of stuff that you want to, including Claude 3.5 Sonnet, the big one that everybody's talking about right now. I guess everybody's talking about OpenAI 01 right now, but not in the sense of writing content, because the OpenAI 01 model is not that great at writing, and it's pretty pricey if you're going to try and use it for writing. So Claude 3.5 Sonnet is sort of the big boy on the market right now that everybody uses if you're going to be trying to do some complex writing. And but at the same time, Claude has its own way of writing, and so if it's not how you prefer, inside of your role, you can experiment, and you can find a model that you prefer, and then you get to use that in your model, in your role, and take advantage of that. So yeah, but again, this is just one of the components, and I'm talking about actions. But what we're going to try to do, and the reason I bring up roles, is that we're going to try to do it in a way that when we build these preset actions for you, when you install it, see, one of the really cool things that we're going to go for here is, let me just show you. This is just, imagine that right now, instead of being in the blueprints area, I was inside of actions, and I clicked on install preset. Like I want to pick a preset action to install and run. And I'm a blogger, so I go into blogging and I want to have like a how-to blog post. Maybe we have an action built that's called how-to blog post. Maybe, I don't know, no guarantees. In fact, if you have ideas, if you're a blogger and you have ideas for the types of things that you would want to see, please post it as a comment or something, and we'll try our best to see if it's something that will fit in line with what we want to create for these presets. But the awesome part of this, like let's say how-to blog post, we click on this. So now we get this installed. Like imagine that this is an action, and you can then, it becomes yours, right? Like right now, let's just flip this to blueprints. I've installed this blueprint. I have a how-to blog post blueprint here that now is in my blueprints area. I can click on this, I can see what's in here, and I can change anything about it. If I don't like that this is how this is worded, or if this is the structure, if I don't like that structure, if I want to make adjustments to it, I can. And at any point, if I feel like maybe I want to go back to the other one, let's just go and we can reinstall it again. Yeah, I've got two copies of the same thing, but I can go into here and I can change it. We'll just say 2. And what we end up with is we got 2 different ones, but one is maybe I adjusted it for a certain need, and the other one is a fresh copy that I can change as I see fit, right? And the same thing is going to be true with actions. So you can imagine when you're here in actions and you're like, oh, I want to install my how-to blog writer, you could install it, and then you could open it. And anywhere where you feel like you need to make adjustments to make it work really like focused for your needs rather than what an action preset might do. Now we're going to build them to be incredible, of course, but everybody has a little different style, right? So one of the really cool things that we're making sure to do here is to make sure that it becomes yours and you can make the adjustments to it so that it then performs for you exactly how you want. Now I want to show off something here. Let me just check memory. Do we have anything in this? Okay. Let me show you something interesting. I'm going to go to a different workspace. I'm going to go to the Chibi blog and let's see. Let's duplicate this one here. Chibi AI for blog writing. And I'm going to clear all this out. We got this. Let's see. So, okay. So here in our memory of this document, I already had pre-staged, and that's why I duplicated the other one, because I knew that I already had all of the Chibi sort of information in here. So it's like a product description. I've got target audience, in this case, copywriters. I have a different one. So if I turn this off and I turn this one on, I have a target audience for small business owners. And I have all of this stuff here. Now I have an action here that is called gradually increasing complexity. And if we go into here and open this up, so first it's gonna ask, what do you want to explain? Like, what's the topic? And here we have the prompt. It's like, explain this. And so we have topic. See how we have topic here, and it's being fed into this prompt as the topic so that it will know what to explain. And then we have this right here. We have an additional context section, and it has the memory stack variable. This is a special variable that you can access from down here. So you have things available to you like the entire memory stack, or like the first paragraph, last paragraph. Those right down there, like last paragraph, like those would be if you had content in your document already and you wanted to use the paragraph right above where your cursor is and things like that. You could take advantage of that. And the other thing is we have this increasing complexity X post as a blueprint on this to run. And I'll show you that blueprint here in just a second. But what this is doing is it's meant to build almost like a tweet thread, but it's it's writing out a thing, right? It's like explaining a concept or something in an increasingly gradually increasing way. And let's see, what should we? Let's just do something sort of benign, I guess. I'm going to run this action. And what do we want to explain? We'll say AI for writing or something. And let's just see what we get out of that. So it's going to basically take what I wrote, pass it to the next step, and begin writing. And let's see what model am I using here. I'm using the AI Enthusiast Advocate role. So I can look that up here. If I go into the AI Enthusiast Advocate, it's using Claude 3.5 Sonnet. Okay. So we have what it wrote here. It says, imagine having a smart helper that makes writing easier. Here's the cool part. It's not about writing faster. It's about writing better. What do you want to know? Let's dive in. Want to know how? Let's dive in. And we get text completion, grammar, ideation, style, content research. And it just keeps kind of, as you can see, like these sections here, right? Like it starts off easy, medium, more advanced. And that's the gradually increasing complexity in action. If we go down here into our blueprints, we have increasing complexity X post, and we have right here, if we come back up, notice that we've got the title, got that, we've got the paragraph, and we got an engaging hook. And then we have basic, right? We have the basic parts where it's looping. It's giving us question marks, check marks right there for the formatting that we get. And so we've got this special naming kind of nomenclature here where we're looping over basic parts, and then we're looping over intermediate parts and advanced parts. Essentially, this blueprint lays out the structure. What's really cool about Chibi blueprints, and you maybe have never seen this anywhere else, is that they not only tell the output how to be formatted, like you notice we've got some asterisks here that turn this into bold, and it's colorful like that because I have it coloring turned on in the editor. And that's what we get from blueprints, is it gives us that ability to lay it out exactly how we want, but we also have the ability to kind of tell it where, like what type of content we want and where to put it, which is what this does in this place, or wrap up the passage, which is what's going on here. It's wrapping up. I'm sorry, going down here. It's wrapping up, And then we've got a one line less than 20 or whatever that's like a, you know, a CTA for Chibi, right? And what I can do is I can look this over, I can read about it, and make some adjustments to better fit what I think. And then I can prepare this to post it to X. And you can see that basically the workload to do that has been drastically reduced, because this is doing the whole draft for me in a way that I want it to be laid out exactly and everything like that. And you can imagine that if you had all of your tools built up in an Action toolkit to be able to do multiple different types of things that you do, in fact, you can combine things. If we go into Actions, this gradually increasing task, right? It writes it all out. I could have it do more. I could have it also break up that into individual tweets, or I could have it create a summary, or I can go on and on. I can have a task that can do multiple things all in one run if I really wanted to. I tend to prefer to have tasks or actions built to do a sort of specific thing, so that I just kind of get a certain thing done when I'm ready to do that one thing. But if you have a workflow where you want to have multiple things done at one go, you certainly can. And so the meaning of this video really is I wanted to kind of show you that those, actions are super cool. It's one of the unique things that are available only in Chibi, and they interact with your document. So like this context now here, remember how I told you that there is, let's see if we go into here, remember how I told you we got like last paragraph and stuff like that? So if I put in here, this is not how I would use it, but last paragraph, let's say that my cursor was here in the editor. Last paragraph would be swapped with this. It's the last paragraph that's above the cursor. So you can imagine if you need that in your prompt, that you could take advantage of that super easy, and it kind of makes your actions interactive with the document to be able to do all kinds of things. So for example, let me just show you one more actually. I have over here, so like let's say, but here's the let me just change this. Here's the really cool part, right? And we often overuse the word really, right? So let me just take this, sorry for the table bump, and I'm going to go here to my actions. I have fix really. Click, we give it a second, and it changes up the wording. So really cool gets changed to exciting, right? Because really that's kind of the point of what I'm going for, isn't it? So we got a little rewriter that fixes empty words like really. And if I like it, now I can just be like, okay, let me take that away. If I prefer, I could change. Let's see, do I fix really right here? What I could do is I really could change that so that instead of writing below, I could have it replace it. If I trust the action always, and I get used to using it, and I feel like I just want it to replace, I can do that. I can go into the settings here, and I can turn this off, and then I can save this. And what I can do now is when I come here and I go this, I fix really, this will just be replaced. Now it added a line underneath, right? If you don't want that, again, I can come into here, go into settings, and I can turn off the add a line break. Okay. And then let's take this up and let's dive in. Okay. And then we can run fix. Oh wait, really is not there anymore, so it just rewrites the same thing. Let's just do really cool again. Take this, run it, and we'll get an exciting part, right? So we get it fixed. It's all in line, and I don't have to like clean up after it. If that's what you prefer, that is how flexible actions are. They can help you build your own tools that interact with the document in any kind of way. This one fixes really, but you can do anything. You can extract characters, you can extract subplots, or add a description of a character, or add a scene descriptor, or anything that you want to do, anything. If an AI prompt can do it, you can do it in an action, and you can do it in a way that interacts with your document just like that. Anyway, if you have the time, if you've got some ideas, I would really appreciate it if you drop down below and leave a comment. Share, if you want to drop a massive list of ideas of actions that fit your industry, like if you're a blogger or a marketer, or copywriter, or whatever, or storyteller, if you have actions that you think that we could build as presets that would make this very interesting for you, please let me know. and I'd be happy to get started building things like that and help the community learn and take advantage of this super cool capability that we have in Chibi that is unique, and I know that we can help people do better content for the world. So until next time, take care.